they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side if you feel alive. It's Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go. I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side if you feel alive. It's Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Talented Thursdays. Y'all know that I'm so excited to have you here with me tonight. So come on in. I hope you brought a friend. Make sure that you're dropping everything over in the comments, that you're telling me where you're watching from. I am excited tonight, y'all. Every Thursday that I get to be with you, I am excited. But tonight is a special night, and soon you will find out why. Okay, so thank you again for watching. Those of you who are watching on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and listening in on Vegas Praise Radio, I am so happy to have you here. So make sure you all are tapping on the share, tap and love, and tap and like. I want everyone to be able to experience Talented Thursdays. This is my baby, y'all. And you know, when you have a baby, you feel like you want everybody to see your cute little baby. I want you all to see all the cute and sweet artists that I bring to you each and every week. Each and every one of them truly have a story of how they've gotten to where they are, or how they're taking the road to where they're going. And it's encouraging, it's inspiring. And I believe that something that's said tonight, actually every week, is going to bless you. That's my prayer. That's my heart's desire, that you will be blessed. So let me talk a little bit about something that I saw. You know, I kind of like to share my thoughts with you on Thursday before I bring in my guests. So something that I saw recently was a reel that was talking about sharing a password with Jesus. It was talking about relationships, but it was saying that you can apply it to anything. And this is kind of your way of you and God having a special thing, and you knowing when something is meant to be. So one young lady in the comments was saying that she had a password with God that no one knew. She never wrote it down. And once her husband, her current husband, said that specific word to her, that's how she knew that he was going to be her husband, because that was what she had shared with God and prayed for. So how do you all feel about that? Sharing a password, having that that like bond with God, that special bond to say, God, when it's you, let them say this certain thing. And it's not something that's typical or an everyday saying. It's something special between you and God. So I just thought that was interesting. And I wanted to share that with you all tonight. And hey, I may just share my special password with God, because I want to know some things as well. And I think it's just a great and fun way to interact with the Father. So let me talk to y'all about tonight's guest, okay? I'm getting ready to tell you about tonight's guest and why she's so special to me. So tonight's guest has a special place in my heart, and I've loved her since day one. She's currently a college student who's working towards a business degree, but music has always been her passion. She's been singing. This is what her mother told me, and I know as well. She's been singing before she could talk. And she was on her praise and worship team at age 8. So her mom told me before she could even really form a sentence, she knew how to sing those words in a song, and she knew, what she was saying at the time. So I love that. She's super creative. And she also enjoys design. She's multi-talented. I learned some things that she likes or enjoys playing the keyboard as well as the guitar. She attended SOTA in Tacoma, Washington for the performing arts and has already released her own music. She was also a featured artist on a project as well. It's always good to hear what positive young people have to say. So tonight, let's enjoy this conversation. I'm bringing to you all tonight someone special that I call Baby Doll Number One. Up next is my goddaughter, y'all. Stay tuned. You're watching Talented Thursdays.
I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. If you feel alive. It's Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let me hear the drum roll out there. Give it up for my God, baby doll number one, Semaj, A.K.A. Maji.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hi, and welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let's see. Are your headphones still on, Semaj? I'm getting some feedback.
I'm trying to get them to turn on and connect, but every time I try to connect them, they turn off. I don't know what it is.
Okay. I have Uncle Ray that's listening. Raymond Coates, he's in California. He said, I'm listening, Kimberly, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching and listening in on tonight, for sure. All righty. So, Semaj, first of all, let me say welcome to Talented Thursdays. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. Now, listen, we have a special part of the show, and this part of the show is for you as well. I do it with every guest. I want you to rep your city. And for those that are watching, rep your city as well. Now, if there are people who have never been to your city, you're going to announce what city it is. And I also want you to tell what's something that we have to do, see, taste while we're in your area. So rep your city. Go ahead.
I'm gonna rep 2 cities today.
Come on. Come on.
I'm gonna first start off with home, Tacoma, Washington.
Yes.
I feel like Tacoma is full of culture, full of diversity, and just full of good energy. Starting off my music career, that's where I started off the most, doing music in church and then working with other artists and just experiencing the culture of music that we had at home. But outside of that, one thing I would say to any traveler coming to Tacoma, definitely hit the fish house. That's where the culture lies. As soon as you walk in there, you see all the big faces on the wall,
Yes.
coming and enjoying the food. And then for any tourist attraction, go down to the waterfront, enjoy the beautiful scenery, the beautiful view. Now for my second city, I gotta rep Seattle.
Come on, C-Tac, Seattle. Yes.
Coming out here, it's a lot of art, also a lot of culture. I definitely enjoy going to the museums. My favorite museum right now is Mopop. So if you ever decide to travel to Seattle, go ahead and hit up the Music and Arts Museum.
Nice.
It's definitely a beautiful experience. So yeah.
I love that. Well, I want to say shout out to those at the Fish House. That's the Ward family. I grew up with them, and it's a great place. Like you said, a lot of culture there, tons of pictures on the wall, and good food, And I didn't know that Seattle has that new art museum. It's
Mm-hmm.
new to me. It's probably been there for a minute now, but I haven't been there as of yet. So when I get back to the area, we definitely got to go. How about
We
that?
do. We definitely do have to make a trip.
I love it. I love it. Your mom is out here watching. One of my
I
besties in the Westie, Trina Gales, is watching, AKA Trina. So we're going to give her a shout out and say hello. Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for my God, baby.
I love you, Mom.
Yes, shout her out. Shout her out. Now, listen, I want you to tell me about your favorite part of growing up in Tacoma. What was your favorite part of growing up there?
I think my favorite part of growing up there was experiencing both sides of my family and how similar but different they were. Like, my dad's side of the family just so churchy and so, had so much wisdom and had so much dedication to Christ, and
Mhm.
then seeing how my father was able to bring my mom into that lifestyle and she grew within ministry as well. I feel like that was the best part of growing up in Tacoma. And then ultimately, like I said earlier, experiencing the culture and how we got to be in an experience where we didn't deal with the gentrification that Tacoma has brought to the forefront. And I think that was an amazing experience in itself. So, yeah, that was my favorite part about growing up back home.
I love that. I love that. So family is huge for you all, and so I think that is an awesome thing. You grew up in a Tacoma that I didn't know. Your mom and I, we had the good times in Tacoma before you came along. And you are the following generation. So how have you seen Tacoma change even since you grown up? I know you mentioned gentrification, but what else have you seen going on in Tacoma?
I've seen a lot more community aspects than I did growing up. Being that I'm no longer like residing in Tacoma at the moment, I feel like going back home and seeing how developed they are compared to when we were kids,
Hmm.
it definitely changed my perspective on the potential that our city had. I think the biggest thing that I noticed was the amount of community centers that were actively getting students engaged and getting students, prepared for the real world, which is something that we had, but not as actively as they have it now. And I think that's the beauty of it all, is knowing that the youth is going to elevate more than what we would ever imagine, which I think
Mm,
is amazing. So, yes.
I think that's amazing as well. So, I want to talk about, you come from a musical family as well. So, you have that spiritual side of your family, but your family is very musical. Your mom is a singer for sure.
Yes, she
You
is.
probably know almost every song on the radio.
No?
That's just her. She has had music. And, because I grew up with your mom, I had the pleasure of being around your grandmother a lot as well. So the love that your mom has for music, your grandmother had. When I would go over and I would stay the night, and, we would have our weekends together, there was always music in the home. And so
Mhm.
I know that's where your mom had to get it from. Miss Connie loved her music, and it was old school. And so there was so much, soul that was going throughout the house. So we always, were able to sing, to dance, to rap. We did it. We did it all growing up, and we had a blast doing it. But then also your dad is a musician.
Mhm.
And so he plays instruments. So you have music on both sides of the family.
Mhm.
So I want to know, what was your home like? What did you hear growing up?
Man, let me tell you. My home was full of music, full of life, full of happiness. Like, I feel like music is the root to connecting our culture, connecting our people together.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's something that we strive to do, specifically within our spirituality. And I think my parents did an amazing job combining the best of both worlds, not only having a mother who can sing her behind off, but
Yes.
also having a father who knew the structures of instruments and how becoming a musician had, helped him develop more of a passion for music on both ends. Fun fact, not a lot of people know, my dad can sing too. He can hold a
Okay.
tone. So it
Yes.
definitely kind of trickled over throughout my childhood. And I think that's something that I really enjoy now about my artistry, is that I had the experience of not having to just be taught those things, but it just became embedded in me. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. So, I want to know, when did you know that you wanted to sing?
um I knew I wanted to sing when I started singing at church. Like you mentioned earlier, I started singing on the praise team when I was 8. And earlier on in my childhood, I believe I was around 9, I
Mhm.
had a very terrifying situation that happened. I swallowed something and it ended up getting stuck in one of my lungs, where I had to get surgery for it. And not
Mm.
only was I terrified, but my whole family was terrified. But the one thing that showed me that I really had a passion for music was my pastor came to visit me, and the first thing that I asked him was, "Are we going to church tonight?" Because it was Bible study.
Wow.
And the reason why, outside of just wanting to enjoy the atmosphere of the spirit, I wanted to sing. Like, I had
Yes.
a song on my heart and I was ready to let it out. And over that time, I just gained more and more of a passion for music. And that's when I discovered that I was able to write music. And ever since then, it's just been getting better and better over time. So, yeah.
Yes, and I love that for you. When we were growing up, like I said, your mom and I would sing everything, everything. A lot of music I learned from her because I grew up in a house where it was a lot of gospel music. My mom had all types of music as well, but more when I was younger. As I got older, it was more just the gospel music, but she never stopped me from being creative or, learning other music because I wasn't a music lover, So I would sing everything from commercials, to jingles, to the Chex Mix commercial, all of those things. But I would learn people such as Faith Evans and all these different artists from your mom. And
Mhm.
so with that being said, we did not have the opportunity that you had, which us being music lovers, we did not have a school of the performing arts at the time. So we were blessed to go to high schools that where we had, great directors who were able to kind of, hone in and teach us some things, but we did not have that basis of this is a performing arts school. You can really focus on the
Right.
gift that God has given you. So what was it like to be able to attend that school?
Honestly, it was amazing. Like, something I noticed when starting off was, even though I grew up around different types of music, my main go-to when it came to writing music, performing music, and genuinely just enjoying music was R&B.
Mm,
And I realized that there's so many other genres that not only take from R&B music, but also incorporate the elements that R&B music has to offer. And I feel like that's something that really changed my perspective on the world of music in general, was just watching other people collaborate in ways that I wouldn't have thought. Like, for example, my freshman year, me and a student who were interested in completely different genres. I think he was interested in rock music, and I was
okay.
obviously indulged in R&B. We wrote a song together,
Nice.
and it came out beautifully. We were able to collaborate and um, connect our different elements of our music, and it was an amazing outcome. And I think that was the best experience I had being there. And then also being able to learn how to perform and not just sing.
Mhm.
And that's something that I definitely needed to grow within. And having that experience was able to help me do so. So,
That's wonderful. And I'm sure that, having that experience stretched you as well, because the one thing that your mom would tell you, I would sing anywhere, I would get on stage and sing. But
Mhm.
there were times where I was completely bashful. And we would go places and we would sing, and I'd be like, Trina, come with me, come with
Mhm.
me, And so to be able to do it more and more and more is such a blessing, because you do get to work on that craft and make it better each and every day, and
Absolutely.
I'm sure that it was a fun experience as well. So I love that you got a chance to, do that. Absolutely. We have Kim McGee Davis, who is watching from Tacoma. Thank you so much for tuning in. She is one of my faithful listeners, and I love her to pieces. Thank you, Kim, for watching tonight. Yes, indeed. So you talked about your experience with the rocker, the rocker and R&B coming together. And that kind of goes into my next question, because I want to talk about different types of music. Some people, or some young people, I should say, don't know any of the old school music. And
Mhm.
I know that old school music was in your house. I know that
Absolutely.
some of the artists that we know and loved. Ain't no way you grew up in Trina Bailey's house. I'm sorry, Trina Gale's house and did not know old school music. So with that being said, music is sampled so much today. And a lot of young people think that it's a brand new sound that's coming about, and it's not. It's like our old school jams.
Mhm.
And so how did hearing different types of music and hearing music from different eras help shape you into the artist that you are today?
I think the biggest thing that it supported me in was technique and knowing how
Mm,
to approach different things with different skill sets and different, abilities. For example, working with R&B music, I realized that there comes a lot of, like the runs and the extra things you would do on those types of songs. You
yes.
can't always do that on everything, and I think that's one of the things that our generation semi struggles with, is not knowing how to differentiate.
Mm.
But on the other end, it shows that there's a way to collaborate all of those things into one. And I think that's the beautiful thing about music, is that everyone has different abilities to make things sound amazing to an extent that you never would have imagined. And that's something that I try to do with all of my music, is make things sound different than what they're expected to be, just based off of the genre that it is. Because in my opinion, R&B is elevated dramatically over the years, but I'm always going to go back to Old Faithful. I'm always going to go back to the Anita Bakers. I'm always going to go back to the Johnny Gills. I'm always going to go back to all of the older artists, because that's where the skill set comes from. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And Raymond, Uncle Ray Coates again is watching, and he is an artist as well out of California. He said, please don't call it old school. I like to refer to it as classic soul.
I
All right,
agree.
classic soul. I love that. Classic soul. Yes, indeed. So thank you for sharing your thoughts on that as well. Yes, indeed. Give me one moment. I'm so sorry. There we go. So I want to know, just being in school and being around music all the time, um, how do you feel you've evolved over the years? So you started, as a young person singing probably in the kitchen, because your mom said you started at 2. And you were 8 singing on the praise team. And then in high school, you're singing every day. How do you feel that the grown-up Semaj, because you're a full grown-up now, how has your gift evolved over the years?
I feel like I've evolved for the better, of course. And I feel like the thing that's changed the most for me is my passion for music. As you know, being in college and then working and, just having life in general, it's very, very, it gets busy. And I feel like the biggest thing for me is knowing that I need to make time for it because
Mhm.
music holds a place in my heart that will never go away. Like it's never going to go anywhere. And I feel like over time I've grown to jump out of my comfort zone and
Mm.
jump out of the, okay, let's, go on YouTube and look up a beat to write to rather than let's teach ourselves how to make a beat that we can write to. And I think that's something that's very important as an artist is being able to execute everything on your own while still of course having your support system, but being able to do the things that you need to do for yourself so that you can elevate and become better. And I think the best thing for me is having my support system. I have my family, I have my friends, I have my church family, and they push and they support to the best of their ability. And I think that's what's gotten me where I'm at right now. So thank you all if you're in here. I know my mom is here, but thank you all.
I love that. I love that. I have a Stella Johns who is watching. She's an artist as well who has been releasing music and she's in the Tacoma, Washington area as well. So make sure you all check her out, as well as the producer, director, musician, singer, songwriter. Navale Davis is in the building. Always a blessing to have him as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. So Semaj, Maji, Maji, the artist name, you released a song a while back. But before we talk about your music, I want the audience to be able to hear your voice. So, can you sing a song for us tonight?
Yes, of course I can.
Oh,
Um, I'm actually going to sing Tell Him by Lauryn Hill. Um, and I'll give like a little snippet on why. For a long time, I didn't know that this song was referring to excerpts from the Bible. And this song specifically focuses on telling God that you need Him and that you desire His presence. And that didn't click to me until I looked into it. Because this whole time I thought this was about a man, and I was like, I'm not telling a man that I need him. Are you serious? But then I realized that it's something that I can connect to in so many different ways. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be singing today.
you better set us up, artists. Okay, tell us why you chose the song that you chose. I
Yeah.
love that. All righty, whenever you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Maji. You're watching
Okay.
Talented Thursdays.
Let me be patient. Let me be kind. Make me unselfish without being blind. Though I may suffer, I'll live it not and endure what comes. 'Cause he's all that I gotta tell him. Tell him I need him. Tell him I love him. It'll be all right. And tell him I need him. Tell him I love him. And it'll be all right. Now I may have faith to make mountains fall. And if I lack love, oh, I'm nothing at all. And I can give away everything I possess, but left without love, oh, I have no happiness. I know I'm imperfect and not without sin. But now that I'm older, all childish things in. Messed up a little bit because I picked the wrong beat, but
That's all right. That's all right.
tell him I need him, and it'll be all right. I'll end it here.
Yes, indeed, Samaj.
Thank
Beautiful voice.
you. Thank you.
Beautiful voice. And thank you for singing live. I always ask my guests if they are willing to sing live. And I thank you for being bold and being brave and standing in your artistry. Such a beautiful song. Such a beautiful song. So thank you for sharing. And we would have never known
Yes.
that stuff, honey, because it didn't sound like it to us. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We got our girl, Quila Davis, who is watching.
Hi, Auntie.
Yes, indeed, watching. She said, I was watching on Instagram, but had come to Facebook. So thank you so much for coming in. And Estella John Simmons is clapping it up for you out there. Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
We appreciate you so much for sharing your gift with us tonight. So
Of
you aren't
course.
only a vocalist, but you're a songwriter as well. Tell me where your inspiration comes from to write.
Um, I feel like in the beginning, it just came from being interested in the idea of being able to write my own music, write based off of thoughts. But over time, it came from experience. It came from just experiencing life, learning life's lessons, and just putting those feelings and those thoughts to paper with pen. That's really where it's coming from right now. I'll be transparent. You know, I'm an adult now, so my dating life is a little a little rocky, but
Talk about
I
it.
think over time I learn from those experiences and I guide myself in the direction that ends up bringing me back to music. So, yeah.
I love that. That music, I talk about that often. That music is one of those things that heals us. Music can do a lot of things for us because a sound, a song carries so much emotion and love and things with it. And so, like you said, being in the dating world, especially today,
Lord, Lord,
it's
Lord.
a
Don't
lot.
even want to talk about
It's a lot. So, absolutely. You, Taylor Swift, those songs, okay?
it.
Taylor Swift them because that's where all her hits came from. She would be with somebody and break up and write. She would be with somebody else and break up and write. And so wherever that inspiration comes from, you keep writing. Tell me a little bit about your song Confessions because you did release a song that will be re-released later on. And I want you to talk about that song and what it meant to you.
That song was really something I wrote from just not understanding where music was going for me. So in the beginning of the song, I'm gonna sing a snippet of it. This stupid love story. I keep pushing you away until you learn to hate me. I've learned from my mistakes. The main one that I made was trying to make you love me. I think that portion right there in itself talks about how I consistently try to push music away because I was trying to focus on other things in life instead of
Mm,
understanding, okay, the love that you have for music and the love that music has for you is never going to go anywhere. And I think that was the biggest discovery for me right now because just listening back to that song after you had brought it up earlier and realizing, okay, your love for music is growing, but your push to get your love for music out there is not. And I feel like that's something that is really shaping me right now and making me mold myself into the person and artist that I want to become. So,
that's beautiful, beautiful. We have Juanita who is watching. She said,
hi.
hi, family. Hey, Juanita, boo. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Quila said, I love that song. She loves
Thank
Confessions.
you.
We do love Confessions, and we are waiting for the re release of it for sure. And Trina said, yes, me too, Quila. Yes, indeed. A beautiful song. And I love that you took the song where people would think it was a love song again,
Hmm.
written about a man, but it's written about music. And so you can only learn those types of things by being on something like Talented Thursdays,
Right.
or a show where we can go behind the song and hear what the artist really truly meant when writing that song.
Mhm.
Yes. Mel
Absolutely.
is watching. He said, I hear a little wave, Candy. I know, I know. Unfortunately, we had some headphones on Semaj's end, but they
Yeah.
aren't working at this time. So I
Okay, we're gonna
apologize
see.
for the feedback on tonight. Let's see, let's see. So, as an artist, you typically want to convey a certain message. What do you want the world to know or hear when they're listening to Maji?
I want the world to hear peace. Them.
Put your headphones on for me.
It disconnected again. Can you
Oh,
hear
okay.
me now?
It had connected for a second. Okay, you want the world to know.
I was saying I want the world to know peace. I want the world to feel growth. I want the world to feel happiness. And I just want them to feel connected. Like I want them to be able to use my songs as a moment to calm themselves during, a heated experience or during something that they just don't know where to run, like where to go or how to feel. Because I know there's a lot of artists for me in my monologue that like I go listen to one song and I'm okay. I go listen to an album and I'm like, okay, we're doing much better than we were 30 minutes ago. And I feel like that's the amazing part about music is that music connects to our feelings like a Bluetooth. Like it's so crazy. So yeah, that's how I want people to feel about my music.
That's beautiful, beautiful. Do me a favor when I'm talking, just try to mute your phone for me, and that may help us. And then when I stop talking, you could unmute, and that should take care of the perfect, perfect. So Samaj, let's see. I wanted to first of all, let's talk about what Quinita said. She said, "I love Samaj's voice. It makes me so proud. I cry. That's my baby." I love to hear things like that. As an artist, that's what we want. We want to be able to do what we love, but it's even better when someone appreciates it and feels what we're doing and appreciates, feels it, and can relate to the message that we're getting across. So I think that's a wonderful thing. Thank you for sharing that, Quinita. Yes, she is your baby indeed. So, Samaj, you just turned 21. Many people feel that life begins now, but there is so much happening with and around our young people before that 21st birthday. So, first of all, let me just say happy 21st. Happy 21st birthday. You're just turning 21. So, I am excited for your journey. But I want to know what is something that you've experienced in life prior to this 21st year where you know that it was nobody but God who brought you through. This is your time to testify because a lot of times we feel like, oh, life begins when we become an adult, but there are things that our young people are going through. And a lot of times people may not realize it. They may not see it. They may not hear it. They may not recognize it. But what is something that you went through where you knew, thank you, God, for bringing me out? You knew it was nobody but Him.
Um, I'm gonna go back like probably like 8 months, 9 months ago. I don't know if you remember, but in August I got the chance to travel to Italy. And that was, man, I miss that experience till this very day, walking through the streets and, seeing the little Italian kids playing at 11 p.m. Like it was a great experience. But something that I was really struggling with was my preparation, both mentally, emotionally, and financially. And of course, I had my family, I had my village who was there to support me where they needed to. But my biggest setback was like I'm a very hyper independent individual. So I don't usually want to ask for help if I don't have to. I'll figure it out and I'll get through it. But during that time, I wasn't making the amount that I wanted to make where I could sufficiently pay my bills while also save for the trip itself. So I was at a point where I don't want to go anymore. I just want to stay home. But God was like, do it. Just go. Everything's going to be okay. Mind you, I got to Italy. My bags got lost at the airport. But again, I say I had my village. They supported me. They got me through everything. And as time went on, being back at home, I just started seeing things happen. Like, for example, I got a job at Nordstrom right when the school year had started. And that was something that I didn't think would have happened so quickly. And then a month into having a job, got a brand new car off the lot, 0 miles to myself. Like these are things that happen when you allow God to guide you to the right direction. Because I feel like that's something that I definitely struggled with throughout my youthful years. I'm still part of the youth, but like, my younger years, just allowing God to show me, okay, this is where you need to go, because this is what's going to happen when you get there. And now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, just let God guide the line. I'm gonna let God guide me down that path, and we're gonna get to where we need to go. So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's a wonderful, testimony. A wonderful testimony. Yes, indeed. And I think that that's great. When you begin to let go and let God, we can enjoy our journey more. A lot of times we try to control different situations and things that we don't have any control of. But once we ask Him to do something for us and take our hands off of it, it's funny because your mom and I had this exact conversation today. She was saying that He would do exceedingly abundantly, well above what we could even ask or think. And it's so wonderful that we serve a God like that, because we think we're asking Him for something big. And He's like, not only do I have that for you, I have something even bigger for you. So what a wonderful God. What a wonderful God. So Quila said she would love to see you and Armani collaborate. She said you and Armani need to collaborate. That will be beautiful. You both have a message. Absolutely. That will be. It would be a great collaboration. I agree. I agree. So here's my next question for you. Who are some of your favorite artists, and which of their songs speak to you? So you can name me a couple of artists and which song of theirs really speaks to you.
Someone right now that I just can't get off of is Madison Ryan Ward. I don't know if you've heard of her before,
I
but
have.
her songs, they they come on when I need them the most. And I feel like those are the artists that I gravitate toward the most. One of her songs that I am in love with right now is called Chosen.
Mm,
And the chorus is, you are chosen for beautiful things, even broken. Um, even broken, don't get caught up in the comparisons. I think that's how it goes. I think that's how the last couple of lines goes.
yes.
But it just shows that you're chosen to experience the beauty of life, and God is going to guide you to that point when He sees fit. Another artist who's kind of my go-to hype artist right now is Lizzo. I don't know what it is. I feel like listening to Lizzo makes me feel like I'm on top of the world. So I just do it every now and then. Um and then as far as outside of like the R&B pop realm, I'll say for gospel music, I've really been heavy on Kiara Sheard, specifically like her newer stuff. One of
Mhm,
my favorite songs by her is Miracles, featuring Pastor Mike Jr., I think that's his name.
mhm.
Um, and that song is another song that comes on when I need it the most.
Yes.
So yeah, those are a few artists right now that have really been in my rotation. So
That is wonderful. You have one of your aunties that you don't know, but she's an auntie. Jania K is watching from Texas. We all grew up together, your mom, Jania, and I. She said, I just read that word. Talk about it. I love it. And I was talking about, God doing exceeding abundantly, well above, what we could ask or even think. So thank you for watching. We call her Bubba. Thank you for watching, Bubba, all the way from Texas. Now, are you ready for something fun? All right, all right, all right. I know you are. Over there, you yelling and screaming on the inside. This is This is a rapid fire. So, this is what I do for all artists. I am going to give you a word. As a singer, you could sing the word, you can sing the song that comes to mind, or you can talk about the situation. It's up to you. So, I have about 5 words that I want to give to you. But before we do that, again, you all are watching Talented Thursdays. Make sure that you're sharing, telling other people about the show. And then before I go into the words, Semaj, Maji, let them know where they can follow you.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram at Maji.music, and Maji has 3 eyes at the end.
Yes, indeed. Maji.music on Instagram. All righty, here we are. We're going to give you your first word. Here we go. I wish I had some theme music, but I don't. I'm just going to sway like I do, okay? But I don't. Your first word is a great word, a word that you know a lot about. Your first word is Jesus.
Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Oh, Jesus on the main line, tell him what. That's the only thing I can.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Call them up and tell them what you want. Great job. Your next word. You ready? Your next word is life. Life.
Mm. Do I have a time limit?
I'll give you a few seconds. While
Okay.
she's thinking of something for the word life, it's supposed to be quick fire, but this my
Oh,
God, baby,
sorry, I
y'all.
got
So
it.
okay, all
Um,
right. Come on.
Life by the Walls Group. Just let me live my life. Ah, you can't tell me what's right. Ah, you ain't laid down. You ain't laid down. Okay, there we go.
Hey, he made me great. So let me be great. I love that song. Great choice. But your godmom, I was going back a little bit and I was like, life, 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 life. I went back to Casey and JoJo, okay? Yes, indeed. Your next word is amazing.
You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. So amazing. You cause the suns and moons to shine. I'm so glad you're mine. Oh, I'm glad to say you're mine. There we go.
Yes, we stand in awe of you.
Amen.
Amazed. Yes, I love that song too. Okay, you better come on through tonight with the good songs, the jams, okay? Here we go. And I did this one on purpose because I'm sure you know something for this. The words are, because it's a two-word, it's a two-word challenge. Rise up.
And I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. There we go.
Yes, yes, indeed. And Jania K is over here laughing. She said, "We old sis." I don't know what she's talking about because I'm 21, just like my god baby over here, baby doll. I'm 21, but she say we old sis because why was that my song for life too? Yes, indeed. Beautiful. Rise up. I kind of cheated on that one because I knew that's what she was going to sing. And Quila said the same thing. I knew she was going to sing that one for Rise Up. Absolutely. I did it on purpose because I wanted to hear that song. Okay. And the last word is because this is what I think about you. And the word is beautiful.
My mom gonna laugh. Beautiful. I just want you to know you are my favorite girl.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh, Yes, indeed. I'm so happy to have you here tonight. It has been a pleasure having you. You are not only representing for the young people, you are representing for artists across the board. So tell me, what's next for Maji? What you got coming up for us?
I'll be honest, Maji needs to graduate college. I have 1 year left and we can call it done. I'm very, very excited for that journey and what it's going to look like. But throughout that time, I will definitely be focusing on rebranding and preparing myself for what this new musical journey is going to look like as well. So stay tuned. Follow that Instagram because you're going to get a lot of updates from there.
That's right. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, Mm, let me see. Any last words for the people? Do you have any last words? Do you want to do any shout outs? What do you have to say before we close on tonight?
I'm gonna say something my father always told us when we were kids. You can do all things through Christ that strengthen you. That's how I'm gonna end it tonight.
Absolutely. Y'all heard it here from Maji. She said you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Yes, indeed. Now, for those of you who are watching again tonight, our guest was Semaj Maji, and she is from the SeaTac area. I'll put it that way. An up and coming artist that you want to be looking out for and listening to. So make sure you are following her. But if you or someone that you know would like to be a guest on Talented Thursdays or Talented Television, please let me know. If you're interested, please email me at talentedtelevision@gmail.com. One thing about this show, we are always, always, always going to have a good time and end on a positive note. So thank you all so much for watching. Maji,
Yes, ma'am.
it's been a blessing having you here. How do you feel since you did your debut on Talented Thursday?
My cheeks are tight. That's how I'm feeling right now. I am happy. I am happy. This smile has not went away, and I don't think it does plan to. So
Yes,
thank you.
absolutely. You are very welcome. I am so glad that you joined me on tonight. You are growing up. You are a beautiful young woman, and I am looking forward to great things. And we are connected because you're my baby doll number one. So, I am looking forward to not only your graduation, but just your journey in life. Like you said, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And I am looking forward to you doing some great things. Uncle Raymond, he said she is young and living in a world where positivity can live through her. Absolutely. Positivity can live through you for sure. Jania K said, Amen. To God be the glory. Quila said, beautiful. You are cheesing hard. That's good. You did an amazing job, and she loves you. Absolutely. We all love you, Maji. Thank you so much for being a guest here on tonight. Thank all of you who are watching, who continue to watch and support Talented Television, Talented Thursdays, and your girl, Kimberly Eichelle. If you haven't followed on YouTube as of yet, please go and follow Talented Television with Kimberly Eichelle on YouTube. We never know what's going on, with some of the platforms, and I don't want you all to get lost. Also, if you want to know a little more about me, go to KimberlyEichelle.com. I promise you're going to find out something that you didn't know. I believe you will anyway. Until next time, we'll see you all next Thursday. Be blessed. We out of here. See you soon. Oh, wait, I got one more comment. Love you too, big sis Kim. I love you too, Quila. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all next week, all right? Bye.